to utilize that information at any given second.
The right page. I'm missing something. It's not letting me see the chat. Maybe that's it. Hold on, guys. I'm looking for something. It's not letting me see the chat for some reason. Maybe I'm missing something. That's why. Okay. Sorry, guys. It was in a different view, so I didn't know what I was looking at. Hi. Hope everybody's doing good. I had some time this afternoon. I'm waiting on a few of my friends to do decodes on them, so you should follow them. You want to shout them out first. There is Teal Aardvark. He is an amazing decoder. He doesn't post very often, but when he does, he gives you enough information to last you years. Emerald Tigress, Levi the Great Astral Assassin, and Astral Assassin Sophia. We have been decoding together for a while now, a long while. On TikTok, it feels like 2 seconds, but it's been years on this app, which, you know, me getting banned after I've spent a lot of time here is like somebody trying to put me out of the house. It's like, y'all seen that skit? It was like, who are you? I'm Pam, the owner of this house. That's how I feel when TikTok be putting me out. Like, how you gonna put me out of the content that I helped build, like so many other creators? But whatever, y'all suck. But I wanted to talk about Ariana Grande's Petal video. Now, there will be many interpretations, so I'm going to tell you right now, don't just listen to mine. You should hear tons of different perspectives on this. But there is a running conversation going on around Ariana Grande's weight. So what we're not going to do is body shame. That's not what we're here to do. But I am here to show you some recurring themes, because you have to still remember at the end of the day, she has taken the world stage. And because of that, you become a living example of whatever is being shown in the collective. And there's stories under stories under stories. So one of the decodes I will share with you is something that one of my Discord members, who's been a loyal member for a few years now, point out, which is the company, because, you know, she's being accused all the time of being on Ozempic. We don't know if she's actually on Ozempic, but the look in Hollywood has a very familiar look. And you guys know she just started in Wicked as Glinda of Oz and the Ozians. So there's already a little cipher there, because Ozempic has the word, or, you know, OZ in it. But the Discord member I have that found this Discord, or not this Discord, this decode, mentioned that the company Novo Nordisk, which is responsible for one form of Ozempic, they use the Apis bull. And the Apis bull is a symbol of ancient Egypt. So remember, a bull is just a male cow. So we're talking about the masculine versus the feminine energy. And it's interesting because so many people want to be on Ozempic to kind of turn off certain blockers, I believe, in their brain that keep them from like responding to food very quickly. But equally, it's also creating a lot of body dysmorphia. He said, Taurus gang. To all the Tauruses, hey, this is a decode for you. It's for everybody, but specifically if you're a Taurus, you're going to get that, because Taurus is ruled by Venus. And so when we're talking about Venus, we're not just talking about like just love. You can even think of like the times of the Renaissance. and think about the different paintings and depictions of beauty at that time. Whether we're talking about Aphrodite, we're talking about in Egyptian mythology, Hathor, there's a lot of symbology here. So when I saw the picture of her, there's a lot of scenes that are very concerning to people considering her rib cage, but also her breast, which are interesting because Ariana Grande is a Cancer, and breasts are under the sign of Cancer as well when it comes to body parts. But she's had some interesting symbolism. The last video that she did where she shows herself like burying her boyfriend or ex-lover underground was giving very Kill Bill vibes, and I mentioned that because of Mac Miller. You're skinny and don't like the skinny shame. That's why I started off and said none of this is about body shaming. What we're really here to talk about is the symbolism that is being shown, because celebrities, like it or not, do become the public example of this. One thing that I noticed also from a previous video, I think it was Brighter Days, there were jokes going around about her losing her memory. Whether it was real, whether it was fake, it was still something that was publicly said and spread around social media. And people said it was a running joke because of, the other music video that she had. But she is known for being an occult queen. Like, she knows her coding. She knows what she's doing. And so there's a lot of symbolism around the UFO. I think it was in the Brighter Days video, because it was also used, the same symbolism was used by Jhené Aiko. And they share an ex Big Sean in her Eternal Sunshine, which comes from the Jim Carrey movie Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Now, some of the examples I'm going to give you for the cow symbolism don't just include the cow print dress she was wearing, but also if you go to the 34-35 video, as you see on the right, there's when I saw those spots, I know they're polka dots technically, but it was giving me Gateway, because if you've seen this entire music video, you see some themes of the 1947 film Metropolis, where she sort of turns into a robot. So the video starts off with her sitting in this black and white room, and it reminded me of old Gateway computers. If you guys are old enough to remember Gateway computers, they used to use the cow print. And I don't think that anybody really comes out very often in mainstream media and talks about that, because why is a computer company showing cow print? Because cows are associated with fertility. They are considered to be the gateway. And so again, if you take Ozempic and what it's meant to do to the body versus natural fats, and I don't mean that in body wise, I mean in a spiritual sense, with using Venus and curves and roundness. Again, I want you to pay attention to the changes and shifts in her music videos, because there's some occult storytelling. The Milky Way galaxy, absolutely. The people who pitch these concepts know the dark arts. Ariana knows them too. I mean, she plays a sorceress in Wicked, so I think that's an easy sign. But she's talked about magic before and a few interviews, but they're just now getting to a point where they're normalizing the mainstream. Before, it used to be something hidden that you had to play an old YouTube video backwards to see, and now it's just very apparent. The bottom picture, the bottom left, is from the God is a Woman video, and as you can see, this looks exactly like a depiction in ancient Egypt of someone receiving milk from Hathor. And she shows it. It's really quick. I had to go back and watch the music video 3 times just to catch it. I saw a TikTok that said we can see her true energy in her music now that she isn't siphoning off. When I look at her right now, I visit some of the songs that stick out to me the most. But what I notice, especially because we just had Euphoria end, is how Mac Miller and Angus Cloud were mirrors, spiritually, but also on the Hollywood stage or whatever. And her relationship with him before he died, and how she refers to him as an angel, because Euphoria has a lot of occult symbolism about fallen angels. So when I looked at that, and then I'm looking at this cow and this milk symbolism, she does know that the feminine is the gateway. The story is really told through Wicked, through the relationship with Elphaba and Glinda, because one represents the more raw version of femininity, while the other one is the more structured. And I think both actually coexist, which is why, when the characters, they come together, they also separate because they have opposite roles to play. I also find it interesting. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The music video I mentioned is God is a Woman to the left. She's also there's a scene in God is a Woman where she portrays the same scene from the 1984 Super Bowl commercial where Ridley Scott is directing it, and the woman comes in charging with the hammer. She's an Olympian. And then while everybody is staring at the screen and watching Big Brother, she corrupts the screen. So it's taking from George Orwell's 1984 as well in those themes. So the feminine being the gateway, gateways being related to computers, the human being essentially being like a supercomputer, and we using like art to, I guess, to direct our space navigation wise. Like when you're thinking, what do I want to be or what do I see my future as? There's a plan set out, but that plan is not necessarily like a manifesto on a piece of paper. Sometimes it is ritualistically enacting the energy that you want to embody, but sometimes they have a reverse effect too, depending on, where the energy is being siphoned. The Petal video, I don't want to tell y'all everything because I have some friends who are doing some decodes, but the few scenes I've seen people constantly screenshotting that are the most like viral right now, which I'm sure her team knew this, are the Carrie scenes. They look like the film Carrie in the pig's blood scene with the queen. It's also giving Scarlet, Doja Cat, in her music video Paint the Town Red, which also goes to the symbolism of the Whore of Babylon. And the Whore of Babylon is described both in the Bible, but separately in a different form in Aleister Crowley's Book of the Law, where he is talking about Thelema and the goddess Babylon, who's also known as the Scarlet Woman. So continually, I think and I've seen some clips of her recent tour, Ariana, where she's kind of like hugged up with one of her female dancers, which I'm not shocked because people were like speculating if she was bi or lesbian anyway. But her switching over to the feminine energy and then kind of Mac Miller being her last spiritual one and attaching his name, because this is a bit of equation, attaching his name to the energy of Angus Cloud, right? And I think she did a ritual releasing a cloud perfume too. There's a lot of mirrors. What does the bottom right photo mean? The same thing the one on the left means. There's the masculine, or the person at least, we don't know if it's a male or a woman, sucking from the cow, the Milky Way. But Hathor, which is commonly associated with the cow, is not just the Milky Way galaxy, but it represents fertility and sustenance and birth and new life. And going back to the oldest civilizations, this was well known. So the one that I have above it is from her 3435 video. It is more polka dots, but I still see the familiar themes. Like I said, I can show you guys the gateway. Let me airdrop it to myself. The old gateway computer advertisements show cow print. And it's very often that they'll show you cows getting abducted by aliens. And it's like a Hollywood film trope, but it's literally just a code. Like cows getting abducted by aliens because UFOs are supposed to be extraterrestrials in outer space. Like the Milky Way galaxy is full of the cosmos and where we come from, our true home. So, I mean, I like the esoteric symbolism. But I think sometimes when I explain people, it's just like, oh my God, why would she do that? What does it mean? If you're into the esoteric, you will come to appreciate the symbolism, but equally you also have to live with the fact that a lot of these are running programs. And when you have so many running programs, like in the simulation or whatever you want to say, it creates archetypes that people may or may not be able to recognize depending on, pattern recognition. Do you understand why they keep showing you these over and over again? Do you see the symbolism? Do you know that there are people who are in tune on the world stage who know intentionally that they're doing this? And the effect on other people, I think, just really depends on their consciousness. But this is also why you should be careful about, what age groups you're letting watch this, because not everybody's going to be like well versed overnight. Some people have to like take their time and really understand what's going on. Let me find my gateway computer image. Hold on. Women are the gateway. That's why she has a song called God is a Woman. So being without sustenance or life, you got to think about like why there's always an obsession with losing weight in the body. People say it's simply for health purposes, but back at one time in history, you were considered to be very rich if you had a certain amount of weight on you. So now like the technocrats and everybody who has power in the technology realm and world are stealing energy in a sense. I mean, if y'all have seen Brian Johnson, who worked for Braintree and works with I don't know if he still works with him, with Peter Thiel and Elon Musk, he was trying to inject himself with his son's blood, and now he has an autoimmune disease. I'm like, I could have told you that, and I'm not even a doctor. Don't do shit like that. I don't think anything good would come from that, but that's just me. I'm not a doctor. I don't know anything, but I watched his documentary, Don't Die. And I was like, sir, like we should, and I think it was also on an episode of HBO's show Silicon Valley, which I'm into that kind of shit. Like I love those shows because it's just full of computer nerds who ended up being like rich and evil. But if I can get in their head, I'm like, good. Now I can tap in and tell my people what's going on. Yeah, I've spoken about the Janae Aiko one before because her birthday is on March 16th. And if you go into the Bible in John 3:16, because Janae sounds like John, it's for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. And so the album is called, there's a song called Eternal Sunshine. So the sun, we think, is like the male child, but the sun is the solar power or the willpower. I mean, I think so. With her doing the Brighter Days thing, if you go watch like that whole video that she released, it was like a 15-minute montage, maybe longer. At the beginning, she's an old woman. And I think I showed these pictures in Discord, and she's getting wheeled in, and this robotic serpent comes in, and then she gets to go into this room where she gets to go into like an IMAX type of theater and look back at her old memories. It is showing you the future of cloud computing, uploading consciousness. Just think like how many people don't think that shit is real. I mean, that's obviously maybe an exaggerated version because it'll be years before the public has access where they can actually go in those rooms, but they absolutely exist. Cryogenic chambers exist. We all know that. And if you don't, you just found out. So, have you ever read Tupac's poem, A Rose That Grew from Concrete? I think anybody that is a millennial or grew up in the 90s knows that. And if they don't, they should. So, yeah, her last album, also her role in, what was it, show Scream Queens, said quite a lot too. Scream Queens gave a lot of information away because remember, they're all called the Chanels. And if you've ever seen the Chanel symbolism, like the logo, it's the Vesica Pisces. So you look at that and then you pay attention. Like I think there were like 5 of the Chanels or something, and how some of them would get killed off. It's very interesting the way that they kind of like embed these codes. Yeah, she came back from the dead talking about hell, right? But that's what I'm here like to understand, to show you the symbolism, because all year it's been themes about aliens, which people gonna wait for actual aliens to come back. I'm like, you're the alien. They're gonna come back and do what? Take us all away and end all wars and all taxes? Like, no. If humans created their mess, they also have to raise to the conscious frequency to be able to change it, which means sitting down and learning the law, learn about contracts and bonds, learn what we give up every day. And then maybe once people are at the same frequency, they can learn to change that up, but it doesn't happen overnight. So the Milky Way symbolism is the mother. It's Venus. When people are saying they want to get abducted, remember how abduction symbolism not only comes from aliens, which is just like another cute way of masking consciousness, but also when we're talking about like the Scarlet Woman symbolism and the blood from the Petal video, you'll start to see a familiar theme with that. Because when we're talking about blood, it's commonly associated with menstrual cycles, the Holy Grail, the bloodlines, and it's just like little symbolism. But I think you have to go back. Like if you want to understand her latest release, you're going to have to go back and look at her last 3 music videos and then piece the symbolism together. What do you think about SZA? I don't really have commentary on her anymore. They're hacking into the water systems. I mean, they already have, technically. That's the internet. The internet is in the water. The internet is the conscious, subconscious thought. Elon Musk is a Cancer, so you can see why he rests over so many technology departments. Water is memory. He's collecting memory like infinity stones. The memory is the data. So whenever you hear someone get on here and be like, oh yeah, I think they're all from Mars. Mars is also an acronym that relates to aliens, RAM, like random access memory servers. So it's when they tell you they're going to Mars, they're really talking about the future of human consciousness because it's already been compacted into data servers all around the world. And so even as we're talking now, we're like in a small speck of an entire system. Angel, cow, ball. What do you think about that fire safety robot that looks like a centaur? I think I saw that on Twitter. Let me go look. What is it on? It was like a robotic looking cow. I'm looking for it. Hold on. I know I saw it on Twitter. I was just only paying attention for like a second. Oh, I see it. This thing looks fucking crazy. This 7-foot robot is being developed for wildfires and collapsed buildings. It looks like Baal or Moloch, whichever one it is. That shit is actually terrifying. See, this is why people want to go off grid. What? That shit looks crazy as hell. I would roll the windows up and drive off. Like, what? No, thank you. They play too much. I just want to know who made the creative design and was like, yeah, this gonna eat. Like, no. Who let this design pass corporate? Stop, put it away. Hold on. Okay, but yeah, that's a mess. It's a hot mess. Let me go look. I'm gonna go skim through the Petal video to see if I notice anything else, but it was definitely giving Doja Cat. A lot of the female celebrities are going to be doing their Scarlet Woman rituals, especially come fall, because at fall equinox, that energy starts to change. We get closer towards Scorpio season, which is high spiritual energy because it's very close to the Day of the Dead. So I had a gateway and paid $3K for it back in the late 90s. Oh, wow. We had a Dell computer. I don't think we ever had a gateway. I think like it was a Dell. Maybe it was like an HP. Is that the same? Was HP Pavilion the same thing? That's crazy. All I know is MacBook these days. I can't even remember anymore. And this video was called Petal. Wasn't her name Daisy in the last video? She had on like a name tag that said Daisy, I believe. What about Tyla and her album? Tyla's a kindergarten subject. I can't anymore. I tried to explain that to people. They didn't want to hear it. She's at a kindergarten level in the industry right now. There's really not much for me to say on it. She's still giving Audrey Hepburn, which I'm sure is on purpose. Definitely Audrey Hepburn, Fame Inc. Okay. TikTok sent me an invite to follow her new film in the form of a flower. Interesting.
I'm Pepper. I'm here for the audition today. You and everyone.
Any insight for this gateway portal in Brooklyn? They're having the first Jamaican parade. That reminds me of last year. I can't remember what time of year it was, but it was Hurricane Melissa. And Melissa means bee. So maybe there'll be some hurricane energy around that time. I'm in New Orleans, so I don't like to manifest or guess when a hurricane is going to come, but possibly.
Funny. Take an application, pick a number, and get online.
I'm watching the video to see if I notice anything. I'm gonna tell you right now, it gives Stepford Wives at the beginning, which again was another book by Ira Levin, who turned into a movie that they remade from the 70s that was starring Nicole Kidman about these robot wives. The first scene gives me heavy Stepford Wives vibes.
Trying to feel something real to cry again. They say that artists need tears to write
Pearl with Mia Goth, definitely.
again.
Isn't Mia Goth with Shia LaBeouf, or she was with him? Because that reminds me of his role in Transformers. And then when I just did a decode on Tyla, I talked about this was like Disturbia. It's really giving Disturbia.
All of my favorite stories.
She's his baby mama, okay.
Ending some kind of catastrophe. But I don't need someone to say.
Do you believe she has an eating disorder? I think it's something much deeper, honestly, but I don't think people will be able to comprehend it just yet. I think Ariana has made spiritual exchanges. I think she may work with an actual spirit who I don't know if she's getting full balance from, because there's certain aspects of her soul that are no longer there anymore. It doesn't mean she doesn't have a soul, but you can tell on a person, especially if you are any kind of spiritual practitioner, you can tell when something's missing from a person. And this can happen from loss. It doesn't happen because you're like giving the devil your left ear. It's more from traumatic loss that can manifest into action and will after that. So that there's different things, and she's known for being able to like flip the switch very quickly, but she's kind of like stuck in this one persona right now, which with people in Hollywood in the music industry, we talk about them so much that you forget like at that point their soul already becomes severed because they become a public icon. And because of that, you no longer get to operate like a regular human, and that does have an impact. Like, one thing I will say when speaking about celebrities is I don't want to completely take away their humanity. And I know people go like, they're all fallen angels. I'm like, technically everybody is a fallen angel when I'm talking about dropping from spirit into matter. So angel is also phonetically the word angle if you just change 2 letters. And so because of that, you know, when we're talking about light language and frequency, some people have used higher knowledge against others who do not have it. And that corrupts the frequency as well. This may or may not, I can't say for sure, has been something that she's done. Like, I've seen her do an interview with Vanity Fair on a lie detector test. And obviously this is just like for show. I don't think any of it was like serious, but her and Cynthia Erivo were like answering questions, and they were like, are you in the Illuminati? And she pretended to act stupid. Like, the thing is, I think they can talk around this because Illuminati is a general term. It's not actually a incorporated club. The club is the knowledge, in my opinion. And then, yes, there are people who are like part of the cult of ISIS, or maybe they're Eastern Stars, or maybe they're Freemasons, or maybe they're OTO. Like, no matter what they are, they still have a knowledge that the regular people, and I'm saying regular just like so you can visualize, do not have. And that's corruption. It's like when, you know, you have laws that you abide by because you're part of a civil body in a corporation, but in history books, they may not teach you every little line of this law and what happens if you violate one of them. And because of that lack of knowledge and them only giving like certain levels of mainstream education, you know, a certain amount of information, it's like omissions are betrayals. Like, I didn't tell you, but you could have figured it out yourself, but there's a price that comes with that. It's okay, Chris. You don't have to explain what it means. I've been an occult teacher for over 10 years now. I just keep it light on TikTok. I'm going to keep watching this video. What if a regular person as that knowledge you speak of, what does that make them? I don't like using the term regular person because already people are not like understanding the dynamic of being a human being on the planet. Like, oh, I'm regular. Compared to what? The system of Hollywood? That's one system over thousands of years. And it's not even the only one that withheld, you know, certain amounts of power. So, I mean, with power, like y'all hear in Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. Some people can use that power to help others, and some people can use it for destruction. And it really like depends on you also seeing the yin and the yang of the world. There are light and dark forces all over the world, but for so long, they have not been at balance with one another. So with each like 26,000 years, we have a new cycle that we go into, which we are getting down to like 0 point. And we actually think we've been at 0 point for like maybe a year or so now. But it's going to require people to either move into a different degree of knowledge or consciousness or stay stuck forever. So as our energy is being like captured in TV and movies and shows, this will be one set of memories on how the future remembers us if the past, present, and future have already happened. No, I have not talked about Mom Donnie. Well, the general public is never going to have all the same information. And it's not like a singular question of what does it mean for me, because everybody lives their life differently. You may not live life like your neighbor. It doesn't mean because, you know, we're watching Symbolism and Ariana Grande video that your life means any less. That's why I don't like, oh yeah, Miguel, I remember. But what was I going to say? It doesn't mean that you're regular. Like, you have to think about what that word even means. So the language that you use is also a vibration. If enough people, you know, associate you being regular with not being popular or being celebrated on the world stage, in your head, you're already diminishing your value, and that's just not true. So I don't particularly like using that phrase, but it doesn't necessarily make you different as your worth or your value, but what you can accomplish with more knowledge, whether it's self-led or you're joining a group, will change your experience ultimately of what it is, you know, to be a human on planet Earth. Okay, let me watch this video, y'all, because I've been yapping. So she got a paper stamp that said not good enough. She does look scary. I'm not gonna lie. This isn't even like a normal thin. Again, this is not body shaming. It's like, for Ariana's a singer too. She's a Cancer and she's a singer. Both being a Cancer, being a water sign, and it's not about body weight necessarily. It's about like shape and frequency and sound. And she carries a large like public voice and sound. We all know she's very talented, right? But there's just something in this video, like in this scene I'm looking at in particular right now, her frame changes, like not her outer appearance, but her aura some way. I agree with that. She's definitely doing all the Audrey Hepburn symbolism. And y'all know that Audrey Hepburn, her likeness was used to create the Sophia robot that was created by Hanson Robotics. So Audrey Hepburn, you have to think about how her energy has replicated and repeated. I saw a lot of it in Lily Collins, who's on the show Emily in Paris. She looks like identical to her too. So I think about her energy, especially with like Breakfast at Tiffany's when she sings Moon River, Holly Golightly, and what is it? I can't even think of My Fair Lady. Why is Beyonce bouncing so well? Why do you think Beyonce is balancing well? Like, have you actually like studied her day after day, looked at what's happening with her family, look at the trajectory? Because I don't see that, but maybe you see something I don't. The entities eat them on the inside and they don't eat human food anymore, so the body is decaying. Okay. Hold on. Look at this guy's eyes. It's interesting. When they flash to the men in the video, their eyes look swollen and black, like soulless. Okay, how many of you guys are long-term spiritual practitioners? And by long-term, I mean who has been practicing actively and serving other people for more than 10 years. Because if you haven't, I want to tell you right now, it is very dangerous to put your spiritual opinions, especially if you just raised your Kundalini like 2 seconds ago. Yeah, 1 year is not enough. It's not. And I know people don't want to hear that. But it's like you saying you're prepared to do open heart surgery because you did 1 year of a science class in college. It's not the same thing. I know people don't take the spiritual realm very seriously, but it's the same as any practice. Whether you're, again, initiated into a spiritual or religious tradition, you have to be well studied at what you do. I'm not talking about a massage therapist. I'm talking about occult information. I'm not talking about Reiki either. Not solely Reiki anyway. We can be born into it, but it still requires practice. You could be a naturally gifted basketball player and still not have like the culture or the skill in order to hone in on it. And I had to learn that because I used to be like in my 20s, like, no, I got this because, it's passed down from my ancestors. But my ancestors also said, sit your ass down and learn from someone above you for years at a time so that you can master it. When I was in my 20s, it was like, no, I don't need any spiritual training. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Don't let this instant gratification, Udemy certificate having as a world that we live in make you think you can master this kind of shit in 2 days. That's what the problem is with people online claiming to summon the dead. You're not summoning the dead, baby, because if you did, you would not be on TikTok talking about it. Unless you had been doing it, you would be on some heavy spiritual energy. As someone who has gone under many shamanic trances, you cannot come back on and touch technology the same. Your brain literally will not operate the same. Your nervous system will not operate the same. Because if you knew what was really in these phones and in the screens, when your brain starts to process differently, like in an altered state of consciousness, it's not going to interact because your frequency is not the same as when you're touching a phone in the material state versus when you're going into higher spiritual states. It's like being in an airplane when you get kind of like jet lag. The higher up you go, you're not looking at the world the same. Therefore, you also cannot interact with technology the same way either. Okay, let me finish this video. You notice after shrooms, touching the phone hurt a lot. If this is my curse, I'll let it ride. All of my favorite stories. I can't tell if they put a push-up bra on her or if that's like, if that's synthetic boobs. Like, I can't tell. Does smoking hinder the spiritual abilities? It depends. It depends. There are a lot of people who are indigenous who work with tobacco or work with cannabis. It's different for every person. Some people do not do well channeling spiritually like that. Some people are born into it. It's prosthetic, yeah. Which, you know, is ironic considering this cow print that she's wearing too. It's such a fuck situation. Just as long as she keeps getting it right, I'll break my back here in paradise. Such a convenient relation. This record and rotation. Long as she keeps the elevation each day, I'll break my back. This is paradise.
Okay. Well, want to thank you for coming in again, Penelope. It's not Penelope. What is it?
What's this painting behind them? Has somebody identified the painting in the music video behind the guys?
Okay. Well, want to thank you for coming in again, Penelope.
I wonder, let me screenshot this. I want to see what the name of this painting is.
Penelope, what is it?
Pepper.
Pepper. Unfortunately, this one...
Hold on, yeah.
Well, want to thank you for coming in again, Penelope. It's not Penelope.
I don't know. I mean, you guys have to look it up. I'm gonna have to Google it. But it's some old war painting. I can't like put it on there. It's at, the timestamp is 3:42 if y'all go look at the music video.
What is it?
Pepper.
We're talking a little bit about Ariana Grande. Teal, I already told him to go follow you for whenever you drop your code. You guys follow Teal Aardvark. He's going to be doing a breakdown soon. Andrea, you said she sacrificed her fans at her concert. Can you explain that deeper? Like, how does a sacrifice work? Oh, it's going to be on X? Okay. I'll repost it to my story when you do. And I ask you to explain it for the people who want to learn, like, what that means. Because sometimes they don't really get that. The Herd Quitter by American Western artist Charles Marion Russell. Okay, I'll look it up. And she also wore this pale yellow in the last two videos too. In the last two videos she wore that yellow. She keeps showing herself getting rid of the masculine too. The last video, she buried the man underground. Then she gets rid of all the male casting agents. And remember I said she was seen like in her concert series with a mask presenting woman too. And then all of the speculation about her and Cynthia Erivo too. It's giving me the same energy as Wicked did pretty much. Wait, what does the fortune cookie say? Hold on. Oh, you bloom wherever you're planted. And then her last video, she called herself Daisy, right? Yeah.
That's it. Give me dreams.
It's giving Kill Bill too, because Beatrix Kiddo wears a similar yellow color, and you know, she has to avenge the masculine in that as well.
Hopeful. And cut. We got it. It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It was fierce yet vulnerable at the same time.
Are you sure you don't need one more?
Trust me, we got it.
All right. Thank you.
But hey, this town deserves a star like you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Whose star is this? Is this a fake star on the Walk of Fame? Pepper is the name? Is that what it says? I didn't even read what that says. She wanted the Hepburn role so bad. Okay, this dropped on July 31st too, which there's a few codes for that day. Let me look. Let's look historical events on July 31st. Wesley Snipes, Blade. Are we decoding Petal? Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about it, but I have some friends who are posting decode, so I definitely would like y'all to go follow them and hear their insight on it. But I did talk about, let me take these pictures down. I'm going to put up the other one I had before, that a lot of her references are towards the feminine as the gateway. There's a lot of cow symbolism there, which there was also cow symbolism in Euphoria. If y'all remember, there were rumors going around when Rue's character died that she was reincarnated into a cow. Zendaya has been seen more often lately because of the movie The Odyssey, but also Spider-Man New Day. Zendaya in Euphoria, they said she was reincarnated into the cow Dahlia. And so remember, there's a closing scene with her and Angus Cloud, who plays Fez. And I talked about Fez being connected to Mac Miller. They're spiritual mirrors of one another. I think that was the point, though. I think there was a point where she wore a chest plate. Not just because of the cow symbolism, but it's the bigger story. Because like I said, if you've seen the 3435 video, that shows an ending with like a Metropolis type scene where the woman becomes the robot. We talked about the Milky Way galaxy. The last picture I showed you guys, the Gateway computers and how they use the cow print on them as well. We talked about the Brighter Days where she gets abducted by the UFO and how Hollywood has a running trope of abducting cows by aliens. Also, from the God is a Woman video, you see her doing the Hathor symbolism where the men are drinking from her udders. So I don't think like the cow symbolism in the dress and the chest plate was on accident or to embarrass her. I think she knows exactly what she's doing. Ariana Grande knows the occult very well. She's also, again, a Cancer. So being able to use the reflection or the moon as a mirror is kind of her thing. And her hair only being blonde when she's wearing cow print. It's also giving me, because 3435 also gave this, she dresses up like the fembots in Austin Powers. If y'all have seen Austin Powers before, how they have the blonde bimbo looking women that have like the guns in their boobs. That's what it was giving me. Yeah, I don't ever doubt. That's why people need to stop doubting celebrities when it comes to their occult knowledge. It's like, just because y'all don't know it doesn't mean they don't. When people like even sign up for a role, they have to literally become this role. So they have to study for it. They have to learn from like people, especially when it's something more like, well, I won't say dark, but something more, I don't know, esoteric. Like, they do study for these roles. This isn't a secret. It's just a secret to the people who don't know. So I'm sure y'all will come across a video and say, look how demonic she is, blah, 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 but give no explanation about why she's doing it. So again, this goes back to the symbolism I told you guys one of my Discord members put about Ozempic and her accusations for using it and it being connected to the company Novo Nordisk, which uses the Apis bull, which was a symbol of ancient Egypt. And so, yes, Ariana Grande also knows Egyptian symbolism because her and Cynthia Erivo performed at the Temple of Dindor at the Met Gala a couple of years ago, which is in front of an ancient temple, singing the song When You Believe that was sang on the soundtrack of the film The Prince of Egypt with Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey. Michelle Pfeiffer was also on like the original one, but y'all know they always got like a black version in the soundtrack, so. But it's definitely channeling that. It's about learning, why are you seeing the symbolism now? Whenever I encourage people to learn to decode, ask yourself, why is the symbolism showing up? Don't just like automatically be disgusted by everything. Have like some balance and learn why it's being shown to you. That's why it's important to look up the origins of Hollywood. When we were talking about earlier about like how I don't really like the term of saying us regular people, because Hollywood, the druidic magic of Hollywood, right, is all about perception, cameras, reels, back footage, deleting, editing, curating images. Like, in the early days of Hollywood have a very dark past. Y'all have probably seen episodes of like American Horror Story that show you that. I remember one of my Discord members / friend / client, she made a decode on, what was it? Jojo Siwa being the Black Dahlia. And she looks exactly like her. I can't remember what her, is it like Elizabeth Smith or something? I gotta find it. But if you see a side by side of them, it's the same person. Elizabeth Short, that's her name. Look at a picture of Elizabeth Short and Jojo Siwa side by side. This is her, by the way. I'm gonna hold up the picture so you guys can see it. Just change the hair to blonde. Just change the hair to blonde. It's the same facial structure, everything. Facial structure, everything. I didn't even do that decode. One of my mutuals did it. So I love when people start like improving their pattern recognition, because so many people, like, they say reincarnation is not real and there's no spiritual implication to our time here on earth and what we do, which is why, like, even with the fallen angel conversations, my challenging question to you, not to say you're wrong, but my challenging question to you is, if you can notice this about a celebrity, where were you in your past life? You're hyper focused on the illusion of Hollywood, which is the exact idea. They want you to do that. But where were you in your last life? What were you doing? You think you just like popped up out of nowhere and then all the celebrities were evil and took over? Or do you think that there is something significant about a human consciousness and its cycle through the journey, we call Earth? Whether you're talking about the axis mundi, or you're talking about the cycles of samsara, there's so many different ways that you can look at our time on Earth and how elevating our consciousness kind of like changes your position on the wheel of time. That's also a good show too, The Wheel of Time, if y'all ever seen that on Amazon Prime. Do you have any videos or so about Atlantis or book recommendations? Not necessarily. You could read like The Motherland of Mu by Francis Bacon and his thoughts about Atlantis, but Atlantis goes back to the cows. It's the motherland of Mu. In my early teachings, I've spoken about psilocybe cubensis and how it was first found in cattle dung. So the manure of cows produced altered states of consciousness. Why you think in the 2000s they had a Got Milk campaign? Because once milk goes through the pasteurization process, it completely changes the way that it comes out, right? And so the mixing of blood and milk is traditionally like something in esoteric knowledge as well, that represents both fertility and the bloodlines. But that's ritualistic shit I don't like talking about on TikTok anymore since they want to ban me. Are you talking about the ones about the Chinese tech empire, because I remember I brought it up. I had an article about when they said the jab was started by bats, and I was like, well, that's actually an acronym for the top 3 Chinese tech empires in the world, especially including those who created ByteDance. It's like Baidu, Alibaba, Tencent, and Xiaomi, I think is the name of it. So it's BATX. Okay, I'll share that one later on today or tomorrow if I get a chance. Do you believe IFA is effective for those who are in that bloodline? Yes. I don't know about other people. I can't speak for them, but for people who have that in their blood, then yes. I mean, because IFA is just modern day computational systems. It's just from a spiritual perspective. Anything that they've created, binary code, when it comes to simple yes and no's and how you can turn that into a mathematical structure and those turn into prime numbers and twin numbers and all of that. I think that that's no different than when you're watching, someone well experienced in IFA be able to divine using cowrie shells. Did you see that Nikki only tweets people who are subscribed to her? Yes, we talked about that earlier this morning in live. People are like challenging it about the money, but I'm telling you, Nikki and people like her are already years ahead. Why do you think the whole collaboration with her showing up at the launch with X and Elon Musk? That's going to be the future of the internet. If you are not a creator and you don't have your own platform, you will know that most people are going to start privatizing. I'm about to start privatizing because we're sick of censorship. And the only way you can continue progressing your work or your creative works and what you do is in order to not be censored, you have to build your own, which the plus side of being on apps like TikTok or discoverability. But people also are not trying to be kept from saying what they need to say. And whether we like him or hate him, Elon Musk does open a more free platform for people, but they don't just want to be on there. But because Nikki is partnering with him, she has pull in the White House too. She is going to be doing that because that's going to lead the next wave of people getting ready to take their creative works on a more private platform. There's too much copy and pasting going on, people having to worry about it, but people will still pay to be nosy on her page anyway. Yeah, she's always been ahead. So I don't think it's simply a money grab. It's following where the future is going. Most celebrities you see now, who are still trying to keep their claim to fame from whatever year they were famous in, they're now required to come down to the level of content creators because we don't look at them on a pedestal anymore. I never really did, but I am part of a generation that was watching Flavor of Love or Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous or Cribs. And now that we've kind of broken out of that illusion and seen that people make up their lifestyles online, now that allows us to have more authentic experiences. What's the deal with her and Jay-Z? What you mean, what's the deal? Do you think the Chinese artificial wombs will be worldwide? Not right away. It's going to be a procedure that only rich people can afford, but maybe one day. I do have plans to go even deeper into technology this fall and winter. And I'll definitely be sharing that once that work is out. So stay on the lookout for that. I just did an episode. My next episode of Hacking the Silicon Valley Matrix is about the Flock apps. We already recorded on Friday. I am putting it out this Wednesday coming. I think we will see. Hold on. It's my child. I'm making sure her dad has her. Okay, sorry. We have discussed Shakira in the World Cup. Yeah, if you stay tuned for my Hacking the Silicon Valley Matrix show, that new episode will be up this Wednesday where we talk about the Flock camera systems. Sorry, guys. Where can we watch that? On my YouTube. So I can't copy and paste my link tree yet. But if you go to my Instagram and you follow me there, it's Taylor Declue, the same as always. It'll take you to my YouTube, or if you just want to go directly there, it's Tailored Healing TV. You'll know it's me because it has my logo and it has like 2 batteries on the outside. So Tailored Healing TV. And don't forget, guys, to book your birthday decodes. I am back and in full effect doing these again. I'm going to post the link here. You may have to just like screenshot it and copy and paste. But if you have ever been interested in decoding yourself, if you are building a creative career or any career for that matter, it really doesn't matter, and you're attempting to break out of loops and cycles, but you need somebody to like sit down with you and tell you where you keep returning to the same story, where you keep repeating, even building up a system of universal patterns that are echoing in your life, then that is where a birthday decode becomes beneficial. I am here to build more students, not more followers, honestly. Like, I mean, it's fine because my work gets across, but my hope is that people learn to use it for themselves. I do not simply use astrology. My pattern recognition system is very complex. I use historical events. I use gematria. I use numerology. It's a multi-tiered system, and it's not ever specific to one person. I use what calls out to me. So yeah, I'm basically sitting down with you. You answer an initial entry intake form on my website. And then when you purchase your session, we either meet on Zoom for half an hour or an hour and a half, depending on which one you select. And we go over your life patterns, your symbolism. You also get a decoding ebook. So you'll have access to that one, and then a copy of my free ebook that's available on my website. And guys, I have a website full of different pieces of literature that I've created, everything from the world systems of bondage, learning about civil code, all the way to a decoding workbook. I have audio training samples to help you reprogram your mind. Everything is at tailoredhealingcollective.com, so make sure you visit there. We also have a free Discord. If you are someone who does better like reading articles, I have Patreon. And again, if you need to see all of those links, I cannot post it right now in my bio because I have to get up to 1,000 followers first, since I'm rebuilding the page. But you can go to my Instagram and copy and see my link tree from there. And that has access to everything that I've ever done. I've gone from being a shamanic teacher all the way to now teaching about the matrix and decoding history. So there's a million different ways that you can use the information that I have, but it's really, to me, at the end of the day, about building consciousness, building self-awareness. I don't know about you, but we're not getting any younger. I'm already thousands of years old on this planet and just keep reincarnating into a 30-something-year-old body. But the idea is that as we keep building, it becomes a legacy and we pass that down. Even though you think TikTok is just an app, this is also going to be a part of the collective Akashic records, because now everything is in the internet. It's in technology. Everything that we've uploaded, the pictures that we've shared, our Apple accounts, Android, Microsoft, whatever it is, any purchase you made online, any credit cards you've ever had, that is a recurring set of data information that does not technically belong to you in this realm. Yeah, my previous account got banned, y'all. That was a few days ago. It happened on the 30th. But as always, get back up again. Don't let it stop you. Sorry, guys. 1 second. Let me link my Instagram. Give me 1 second. It's not gonna like be a hyperlink that you can copy, but you can at least like screenshot it. Help me get to 1,000 followers so that way I can post it permanently in my bio. Share my page, please. I only ask that because it makes it easier for me to give you guys my links if I can actually post them. And you know, TikTok has limitations depending on how many followers you have and what you can post. Give me 1 second. You will see the difference in prices on my website for decodes. All the prices are listed on the website. Okay, here we go. Okay, there's the link tree. Miguel, I don't know why it won't let us pin things yet. I'm assuming it's still according to followers, maybe. I try to get on live as often as I can. It's not every day, you guys. I'm a mother to 2 and I homeschool. So unless it's the weekend and I have off time, I can't be online all the time. But I have 4 pending live streams that have to go up on my YouTube that I have to wait to download and then re-upload them to YouTube. Did I go to Western High School? No. I don't even know where that is. Do you have something vibrating near you? I hear a lawnmower, not in my backyard, but maybe 3 yards away. It lets you pin it? I don't know why it won't let me pin it, Miguel. I tried to, I don't see the option anymore, and that's just since I've put it on this new one. This is the link tree too. I love Nikki, but I'm still confused on why she's standing with Project 2030. What part about Project 2030 are you not agreeing with? I'm gonna pull up some of the facts too, according to Nikki. The links are all on my Instagram, yes. Wait, you're confused about Project 2030? Why? Well, when you say all of it, if you could give your top 3 reasons why you don't understand it, because maybe we can talk about it a little bit. What is it about it that you don't like that isn't already been in the works? I mean, that was just a saying from the World Economic Forum. It's one part of a much larger global initiative. Oh, I was just asking if you could name 3 parts about it you don't like, or not that you don't like, that you're shocked about why Nikki is backing it up. Because I think I kind of covered it lightly talking about why she's privatizing her Twitter now. Because we have lived for a long time in a centralized network, but now with the internet, it's supposed to be decentralized. But unfortunately, even with decentralization, there's a lot of guardrails that come with that. And I think there were already pointers with her partnering with Trump, Erica Kirk, and then Elon Musk, because they are part of the administration that's going to drive forward what happens for the future. To me, Nikki's playing her cards right. We may not agree with everything. I'm sure everybody doesn't want a world of the internet, but we're also already there. We could protest, but again, the .com boom in the 2000s, people were saying the same thing, and look at where we are right now. I don't think she's going to be a free the people and, let them all run in the streets and do what they want kind of person, because she's moved from being a rapper into now a political figure. Whether you like it or not, whether it's just a marketing trend or whatever it is, she holds weight in particular demographics and groups that could benefit the current political administration, especially if Trump runs for president again. You don't have to like him as a president. We don't like any of the shit that's going on. It looks like a carnival. But the world is still continually changing, and I have a decode coming on that this week with Sexy Red. We talked about that in live earlier, and how she has been doing symbolism pertaining to the White House. So that's not just on accident because she thought it was cute. There's a clear script in place that includes Black women. Think Olivia Pope, think of Candace Owens. They're the same archetype characters that keep showing up to uphold whatever empirical system that we're living under right now. I don't know. I don't really get offended by Project 2030. And I don't, because there's so much going on in every division of the world that if I were to pretend like it wasn't going to happen, that would just be being naive about the future. And the future is, as we can see, even what we're talking about, this Ariana Grande video, when we're talking about computer systems, computational algorithms, at the end of the day, this goes back to the Milky Way and the feminine, because the feminine is the gateway. Nicki Minaj has an album called Queen where she's dressed like Cleopatra. Sexy Red, one of her most popular albums that she has, is called In Sexy We Trust, showing her behind a dollar. And you might think that's just a popular hip hop thing to do, but in God We Trust, in relation to the Federal Reserve, and then her using political right-wing symbolism, that says quite a lot, no matter if you're listening to a rap song or buying her booty hole brown lip gloss. Like, there's still clear symbolism being embedded in the collective. And you have to ask yourself, like, especially like with Sexy Red, what I was looking in, where is she? Where's her demographic at? Where are they placing her on the world stage? Nicki's God side, I feel like she don't need them. She could create her own lane. So you think alone, Nicki can build a technological infrastructure that's lasted since 1999 simply by herself? It takes a structure to build a kingdom. It's not just like one person by themselves. Yes, she is her own entity outside of it, but making strategic partnerships is what any empire has ever done. It's what any queen has ever done. So people identify her as the queen of rap, and now she's moving from the hip hop sector where she would only benefit as an artist and moving more into a sovereign aspect where she can gain ownership. We may not like it. We may say we hate Donald Trump and we hate Elon Musk, but her proximity to that kind of power is allowing her to elevate in her own right. She cannot build that alone. She might be able to, but honestly, you know, the way that just power structures work, it's better to do it with someone who's already got their head in the game. Did you see that Trump said he will be the last problem of America? Trump be playing with y'all. You know all the conspiracy theories about the last president by Ingersoll Lockwood. Trump is on the internet too. So is his marketing team. I don't know. I don't get bothered by any shit he says because he's been here for a long time. And I mean like thousands of years. Maybe not like in one body, but whoever's the consciousness of Trump has been here. Are the elites trying to keep the people's consciousness at a lower state? I mean, they don't have to try. People are already there. They're already there. They don't even have to. I really don't think like the CIA really needs to do any kind of tap dancing anymore. People do that all on their own. People are acting a fool because it only took a few years of programming for them to never jump out of their sleep and make a change. And so it continues. People are relying on a government system to wake up for them when government means to govern the mind. If you're not making your own decisions, like they don't really have to do nothing at all. They're like, here you go. And you'd be like, okay. Yeah, Trump has been here. That's why I said you got to talk to practitioners, y'all. Trump has been here for a very long time. He's been here in the body of Elvis. He's been in the body of different dictators. And I don't mean that on some conspiracy shit. Like, consciousness is not bound to one body. This is something spiritual that is learned. Why do you think there are secret orders and societies? They practice ceremonial magic. They know what the fuck they're doing. Oh, thank you. What I'm saying, though, about Nicki, like, when we're talking about certain things, like there was protest against the Big Beautiful Bill. So when we're talking about Project 2030, I don't like, if I see Nicki is supporting it or she's saying certain things, number one, I don't just put her in a box and think of her as like, she is an artist who should serve my thoughts and the things that I like personally, and then I will look at her as a good person. Number one, that's not my right to do. Number two, we've lived here for many different lifetimes in which she has probably played a similar role. I don't think it's her first time playing queen of anything. She even shared like one time she was married queen, or she had the same birthday as married queen of Scots. That's her way of telling you like, I've been here. But also for people who are not like very like, you can be online and know politically what's happening, but if you're not putting yourself in a position to make that actual change, then we just become commentators, right? Like, nobody wants to work in politics because it's full of liars, but there are also people who know that politics are full of liars and they decide to become a politician anyway. You have to take the good with the bad. And I think that's exactly what she's doing. She's taking the good with the bad. I don't think that she's in love with Donald Trump, but I do believe she benefits from the position that she's gaining in an alliance with him, because she doesn't really need the support as much of like her demographic, because the Barbs will follow her no matter what. That's why they're called the Barbs. They will follow her no matter where. If she says, Barbs, link up, we going MAGA. If she gives you a good enough reason, you will, because people desire that proximity to power. So if she's supporting Vision 2030 or Saudi Arabia and what they're doing, like, then we'd have to break down, okay, well then why are you watching Netflix if the Saudi private investment fund just put up like $3 million or $3 billion into buying Warner Brothers and EA Games? We're not protesting that. So what we mad at Nicki for? Like, that's just the way that I view it. I know that everybody doesn't, But I take apart like political systems. Who's benefiting from this? You know, who are the people getting mad at her? Like, I'm more mad at the Sam Altmans of the world than I am Nikki for choosing to do whatever is aligning with her personal future. The Barbs of the United States, for real. You know what? If she was in the White House, like in there, I would not be surprised. Nothing about it would surprise me. Nobody cared when Kanye West was running for president or telling people he was going to run for president. Have you decoded Lizzo flopping? Yes, I had a viral video on my last page about her flopping, but they took it, so. But I'm going to hop off in a second, guys, and post my Ariana Grande post. So we'll talk a little bit about this. If you guys are not following Teal Aardvark, you should, because he's an excellent decoder. Same for Levi the Great Astral Assassin, Emerald Tigress, Sophia the Great Astral Assassin. We are going to be opening up Decoding University this fall. We're not doing Streamer University, we're doing Decoding University. So there will be updates on that towards the end of this month, starting next month. The Lizzo one, I think, is on Insta. Maybe. I can't remember. Let me see real quick if I posted it on here. Did I post it? Yeah, I did. It's on there. It was posted on June 7th when I posted that one. So, okay, guys, you have a great rest of your day. I will be posting my Ariana Grande code. And yeah, if I come, I think I'm supposed to be going live with Candace in the morning. So if you are tuned in, tapped in early in the morning, I think we're going to go live around like 8 or 9 in the morning. So I will be speaking with her. Remember, if you want to book a decode with me, you can go to my Insta. Unfortunately, until I get to 1,000 followers on here, I cannot post my link tree again like it was on my other page. So in the meantime, if you want to see all the links to my work, to my online store, all of that, you can visit the link in my bio. So I will see you guys. Have a good rest of your afternoon, and we will see each other soon. Bye.